This is a story about a young man following his dreams. With his two passions as a chef and a hunter, this seventh generation Texan carves his way through the wilderness harvesting wild game. He only takes what he can use and always shows respect for nature. So come with him as he harvests from the fields, waters, and woods, calling it his very own pantry.
I'm back from Louisiana, from the swamp to the kitchen, and it was a very successful trip. Today, we're gonna start cooking frog as an appetizer. I'm gonna go ahead and add calamari and soft shell crab to it just to get a bit of normalcy to it. So we're gonna start off with our seasonings. We got our frog. For most of you out there who haven't seen frog, it's a very pretty meat. Very light and pink. Whenever you fry it, it tastes delicious. It's amazing meat. It kind of has the consistency of chicken, but it doesn't taste like chicken. It tastes kind of like crab or fish. It's a very different taste, but it's very delicious. Probably one of my favorite games out there. So we have our calamari, we have our frog, and we have our soft shell crab. The most important step at this time is to go ahead and make sure all of the moisture is out of it. So we want to pat it down really good. If you can, before you start cooking it, like I did now, just go ahead and dry it out on some paper towels. So we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of salt and pepper to the whole thing. And since we're in Louisiana, we're gonna add a Cajun touch to it. We're gonna do some Old Bay seasoning. A lot of y'all know that, very crucial, I think, to seafood. And that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna treat the frog as if it was seafood. And then to give it a little extra touch, I'm gonna add organic pink peppercorn to the frog. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna give it a little bit of sweetness, but also a pepperiness to it. Those of y'all who haven't tried pink peppercorns out there, give it a try, it's really good. Then we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of garlic powder to it. Garlic's one of my favorite things to eat out there always, so I always like to season my food with garlic. So our mixture is very simple. We're gonna do a flour mixture mixed with cornstarch. The cornstarch, I think, is very crucial to this because what it does is it really absorbs a lot of that moisture and makes sure you get a nice crisp on top of your meat. Perfect. So another thing I like to do is, since we have our cornstarch and flour seasoning together, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little touch of extra seasoning to it, a little bit of salt and pepper. Now I have my seasoning together, my flour, I'll go ahead and start putting everything together. Man, just looking at this frog right here gives me like flashbacks from hunting. You know, we were deep in the swamp, there was not a human in sight, it's just us versus nature, and we're in this nasty, icky swamp, and then you come out of it with this beautiful meat. So, you know, it's really amazing to see how you go from the swamp to the kitchen and see how everything really turns out. It's totally amazing to me. So now's the time to create a delicious meal. We're gonna turn this into a wonderful appetizer. So we got our flour seasoned with our cornstarch. We'll go ahead and toss that together. Now the beauty of frog is it's just a different meat that no one ever gets to try. Everybody's really afraid of it, but man, there's nothing really that crazy about it. It's really, really good. You know, it's organic, it's free range. It's what we call free range swamp chicken. It's really simple, just an easy flour, easy dusting on that flour. We're gonna go ahead and do the soft shell crab as well. I wish I were to hunt this, but I actually got this from the store, but that's fine. The whole point of this is to bring some normalcy to the frog. Frog is a little bit weird sounding to a lot of people, so what we're trying to do is really bring a normalcy to this so people will be willing to go out there and try it. It's actually a lot of fun. There's not very many wild game that you can catch with your bare hands, and to go out there in the swamp with a boat and just spot them out with your eye and just reach out there and grab them with your hand, it's just an amazing feeling. You know, there's nothing much like that. You can go out there, hunt with a bow and a rifle and a shotgun all you want, but this is just a totally different feel, you know? It's just you versus nature. You don't need any tools, you don't need any weapons, just your bare hands and your brute strength. It's really exciting. I wish more people were to do it, you know? That's what this whole thing's about. Get everybody out there and get us all hunting. So we got our frog season and our soft shell crab. We're gonna go ahead and work on our calamari. I already seasoned it, not a problem. I'm just gonna go ahead and cut up the tubes. That way it's nice portions for everybody. It's really simple. All you're gonna do is cut them into rings. I like to do about 1/4 inch wide. Calamari, I think, is gonna add a great texture to this dish because we're gonna have that succulent frog that's just gonna fall right off the bone and be almost like a crab consistency to it. And this is just gonna give another different texture to that, and that's what we're looking for. You don't wanna all have the same texture. You wanna have everything a little bit different from each other. These legs look pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and separate those out. Make sure they're not too big of pieces, which they do. They look great right now. And then we're gonna just go ahead and season this up just like the frog and the soft shell crab. You wanna get a nice dusting on it. You don't wanna get it too heavily coated. So I toss it in a little bit and then go ahead and take it out immediately. It's very important to get each legs coated in the flour. That way they stay separate when you cook them. And always take off the excess flour because that's gonna burn your oil and that's not a good look. It has a bad flavor to it. And it's sticking to the paper towel, but that's not a problem. It's actually really good because what you're doing is you're making sure that all that moisture's off. You don't want any moisture in there. Otherwise, you're gonna have a soggy calamari, and nobody likes anything fried that's soggy. So as you can see, each leg's coated. It's perfect. And a lot of people out there love to eat calamari, so I think this is a great pairing. Keeps everything really at home, really normal feeling to you. So there we go. We got our frog, we got our soft shell crab, and we got our calamari. We have our frog over here frying with the soft shell crab, and it's looking magnificent right now. We have it on 375 degrees. And it looks like our frog and our soft shell crab are done. So we're gonna go ahead and take off the excess oil on this and get the calamari going. Look how beautiful that looks. We got our crispy soft shell crabs and we got our nice succulent frog legs. I wish I actually went out and caught the calamari myself, but didn't have a chance to go offshore this time. It'll be on another episode. It's very important that whenever you fry these, you make sure they're all separate. You don't want them clumped up. So just as you are hunting, you have to use all your senses when you're cooking. You gotta smell it, make sure everything smells good and fresh. You gotta look at it to see if it's crispy or not. And then also you have to use your hearing, you know, you gotta hear it sizzle and crackle. It's great, we're looking awesome on this. This calamari is floating, so you know it's ready. Beautiful. There you go, and that's our appetizer. So we're gonna let this cool down, and before it cools down, I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle it with just a little bit more salt and a little bit more pepper. While it has that oil on it and it's hot, it's really gonna absorb that salt and that pepper and add that final touch to the seasoning to it. Now that we have everything done, we're gonna go ahead and plate it. So the final touch that I'm gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and add our cilantro. Since we're using seafood, I like to go ahead and add this because I think it gives it a really good touch to it. So very simply, we're gonna go ahead and add everything in with it. I'm gonna leave a little bit on the side to throw on top. This is a dish that everybody will love, but a lot of people won't have enough guts to go out there and get it themselves. So we're gonna add a little bit of lemon zest on the top as a nice touch, and then a squeeze of lemon. And the thing with that lemon is, it's gonna go ahead and add an acid component to it, which is very important whenever you're frying things. It gives it that nice freshness to it. One final touch to this delicious dish is we're gonna add a homemade cocktail sauce. Very simple. We're gonna take some ketchup, squeeze a lemon, do a little bit of horseradish. We're gonna add a pinch of salt, touch of sugar, a little bit of green onions, some shallots, a little bit of Worcestershire, also some fresh cilantro. You don't need much. Just give this a quick mix, and we're good. Very easy, very simple to make, but amazing. It really adds the touch that you need to this dish. And there you have it, a homemade cocktail sauce. And there you go. There's our fried soft-shell crab, fried frog legs, and calamari. Y'all keep on cooking and enjoy the outdoors. I'll see y'all next time.